I'm Pembroke Feeney.
Who?
Pembroke Feeney, Clyde Torkel's executive assistant.
Who?
Clyde Torkel.
Oh, yeah.
Clyde Torkel's executive assistant with responsibilities overseeing all chicken pit advertising and public relations.
Public relations, huh?
Including what we now call our collateral racing thrust.
What's that?
That's you.
Collateral what?
Thrust.
Huh. Collateral thrust. I think I like that.
Now, as I was saying...
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Is that your real voice? I mean, do you talk like that all the time?
You don't like it?
Oh, well, it's kind of unusual. Actually, it's weird in a very nice way.
Chris Scouser here with
Matt Howell.
on this episode of The First Run. Well, Matt, it's Akiva Schaffer's reboot of the Police Squad franchise with The Naked Gun, this time featuring Liam Neeson as Frank Drebin Jr. Can the film revive the spoof genre, Matt, or is it at least worthy of the originals? There will also be the hilarious review of the big release on physical media, featuring your streaming and Viper video picks of the week. And then Matt and I will close out the show with the Horror Madness Finals. This is it, Matt. Who's going to come out on top? So like a blind man in an orgy, we're going to have to feel our way through this. Let's start everything off with a clip from The Naked Gun.
Hi, I'm Liam Neeson. Every passing year, more and more comedies go unmade, unseen, and unquoted.
Bad guy in a little coat.
But for the price of one movie ticket, you can help rescue a comedy, and in the process, you'll get to share a smile, a laugh, and even the occasional groan with the people in your very own community.
Oh, as if.
Right now, there's a comedy movie that needs you. Please, buy a ticket right now, so our children, and hopefully their children too, can one day enjoy watching a comedy in a theater.
Sorry, that was more of a PSA. Forgive me. So Liam Neeson now steps in as Frank Drebin Jr. Matt, what is The Naked Gun all about?
Really, it's essentially basically like any other Naked Gun movie. Frank Drebin is a member of Police Squad. He is somehow a badass cop, even if he's bumbling at the same time. And he has to stop the bad guys with the help of Pamela Anderson. There's a plot device involved. There are fart jokes galore. There's very
is there a plot device? Yeah.
Quite literally. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, basically it's you know, there's a plot device and they have to solve the bad guys. Played by Danny Houston.
Man, he's one of the go-to bad guys, isn't he? Danny Houston.
Yeah.
You know, he shows up, oh, he's going to be a bad guy.
Yep, pretty much.
And Paul Walter Hauser is in this as well as Pam Anderson. And I don't know, is this true that they're now dating, her and Liam Neeson?
Really? I did not know that. I have not been keeping up with either one of their love lives, but you know what? Good for those crazy kids, air quotes.
Yeah, I think that, and I've ever since Natasha Richardson had died in that horrible accident, he kind of had not really dated or been with anybody. But I guess supposedly that's what I've heard, is that the two of them are now an item. So good for them. Good for them, Matt. And also, too, I guess they tried to do this a few times. First in 2013 with Ed Helms.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2021 with Seth MacFarlane.
Okay.
So I guess he's listed as a producer, I believe, on this. So,
Okay.
But, okay. How did this work for you, Matt? Was it a return to the glory days of the Naked Gun, Police Squad kind of franchise? And did you have the same issue that I did with Liam Neeson in this role?
So, full disclosure, I'm not a huge fan of the spoof. I think there are some excellent films, but I think, like, you know, Airplane, ! Blazing Saddles, right? But I think those are more the exception to the rule. Not another teen movie, also an underappreciated gem, but I digress. I'm not a huge fan of these type of films, and it's going to sound incredibly snobby of me to say this, and I'm sorry, but it's the truth. You know, those kind of broad comedy fart joke things have not really been always my cup of tea. So that said, I was never a huge fan of the Police Squad franchise.
Mhm.
I think if you like that kind of comedy, you're going to like this. And if you think the bad guys stealing something literally called plot device is funny in the first like 30 seconds of the film, you're going to have a good time with this. But I think I know what you're saying about Liam Neeson. He doesn't by any means, not even close, sniff the comedic chops of Leslie Nielsen. And he seems completely out of his depth. Like he's game and he's trying, but it never quite fits for me.
So I think the challenge I had with Neeson in this is that it's the badass persona. It's
Mhm.
the taken Liam Neeson who's now done basically nothing but those kind of actiony films. Granted, I know he's done other things in the interim, but he's had that run. It was Mr. January and Mr. February, right? For like 10 years,
Mhm.
churning out the next action movie. And he does bring that level of that's the gag, right?
Mhm.
It's the badass Liam Neeson doing a send up of himself in a way as this strong, silent, action Clint Eastwoody type. And I think where it misses the mark for me specifically there is he doesn't have Leslie Nielsen's kind of gullible innocence,
Mhm.
right? There's a charm that Leslie Nielsen brought to the film. Now, Neeson has presence and he has his own kind of charm, but there's a goofable affableness that he doesn't have that
Right.
Leslie Nielsen brought to the performance. So the whole Neeson Nielsen thing is throwing me off. But yeah, so that's kind of the one thing. Like, I get the idea of casting him in this, and it makes sense. And I enjoyed the film, right? I'm very happy that it's not horrible. And I like the fact that I read like the writers, basically, they wanted to come up with the craziest things they could think of to have Liam Neeson say throughout this film. And it is rapid fire. I mean, it is in that same tradition. You got jokes basically every 30 seconds to every minute. Most of them, I think, land. I'm talking like 85% basically hit for me. My favorite joke, Matt, probably is when Danny Houston introduces himself for the first time he meets Liam
Mhm.
Neeson's character, and he goes, Lieutenant Frank Drebin. And then Neeson goes, me too. And the delivery of that, it's so pitch perfect that
Right.
I almost cried from laughing because it's such a small thing, but it's so perfectly delivered by Liam Neeson that it like made the entire film for me. I will
Right.
say I saw it with a relatively packed theater, which is good, though from what I understand, the film's not performing exceptionally well. In fact, it hasn't made its budget back yet, so I don't know if this is the end, or at least a further stalling of any chance to reboot the franchise. And I feel bad for Akiva Schaffer because the guy they can't seem to catch a break. Like Popstar, if you haven't seen it, is hilarious,
Yeah, it is.
and it that never took off really easy either. But I did notice that I was the one laughing the hardest and the most in the theater I was in.
Oh boy.
There were some younger people behind me. I could hear a young woman constantly whispering, basically saying she didn't get the jokes. She didn't understand what was happening.
Right.
Is that funny? I guess that's funny. Stuff like that. And it's just
Right.
made for a frustrating viewing. But overall, like I say, I think it works. I think it maintains kind of the goofy charm of the original, and for the most part, but it suffers from a lack of a Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, again, I'm not a huge fan of this type of film. It didn't do enough really to win me over, but I thought it was well done for this type of movie. I gave me some chuckles. It didn't really give me any huge belly laughs, but I guess that's just me being cynical. But I think if you like this type of movie, you're gonna enjoy it.
Oh yeah, if you have any affection for the original show, and if you haven't seen the show, it's only like 6 episodes. Track it down. It is
Mhm.
hilarious.
Mhm.
And then the movies I think are good though. I think you get kind of what is it? Diminishing returns as they go.
Sure.
But they're all good. But then you have this stuff like what is it like Disaster Movie and
Mhm.
Meet the Spartans.
Yeah.
Those, or what's the really one where I think we had just started the show and I almost canceled the show after we watched it? Was it movie 88 or something like that?
Oh, I didn't even see it. Movie 42, whatever
42?
it is.
I don't remember. It
Yeah.
is so bad.
Right.
That's one of the few films I watched that made me angry because those spoof films, they're not even spoof film. They're not. They're just,
Right.
here's a reference. Let's move on to the next reference.
Yeah.
Right? There's like not even any real comedy writing involved in those. They're really
Mhm.
atrocious. They should be burned and just from, I don't know what, from the planet. Just shoot them into the sun. Do something. They are atrocious films. But regardless, Naked Gun. I like how my spell check renamed it to Named Gun. So we can keep gun in there, but we can't have the word naked in my spell check. That's fine.
Fair enough.
So, and also too, Matt, I'm sure one of your favorite things, Tight 85.
Yeah. I was like, man, it's over already? Man, I was like, bing, bam. Bam, bam. Thank you, man. That was quick.
Did you stay through the credits? I'm assuming you did not.
I did not know.
Yeah, they have a couple joke credits, and then Weird Al shows up at the very end.
Oh, boy. I missed it.
So you may want to go back in the theater and watch it again just for that.
Buy another ticket. Take another 85 minutes.
Yeah. So, yeah, Matt, I'm giving it a B.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a B minus, which may be a little bit generous, but I just don't think it should be penalized for me not liking this type of movie.
So you're just not a spoof guy, huh?
No, like I said,
You
I
like the old
like
Mel Brooks stuff.
I like Blazing Saddles, right? I like Airplane.
Top
I
Secret.
It's okay. I like Not Another Teen Movie. That's basically it. Those are the only three that I genuinely can say that I like.
Hot Shots.
Again, sort of. Yeah, it's okay. Hot Shots is okay.
Okay.
Is Austin Powers a spoof movie?
I would think so. I'm about to ask you if the Shaun of the Dead qualified.
Yeah, but Shaun of the Dead seems pretty like razor sharp. Like, and so does Hot Fuzz, right? It doesn't seem as broad, or at least seems more winky and less over the top.
Yeah, fair enough. The Naked Gun is currently in theaters. If you had a chance to see it, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. Hot Shots 2. Galaxy Quest?
Part duh?
Anyway. Three Amigos? Does that count? They're more parodies. Are parodies and spoofs the same thing? Walk Hard. That's a funny movie.
That is a funny movie. Okay, so there are some good ones, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Not quite as broad and goofy and just basically throwing everything at it possibly to see what lands and what doesn't. And I mean, your jokes per minute, average in this is pretty high. So you get your money's worth for sure.
Yeah.
Naked Gun. Matt, let's talk about what's coming up on, what do you think? Was it Physical Media this upcoming Tuesday? That makes sense. August 12th. And I love when I pull this stuff and then I do not remember what the clip is going to be. And then when I copy and pasted my notes, everything's out of whack right now. So let's be surprised together, shall we?
You don't have to go home.
I want to go home.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Because even though you did a cheap, disgusting act by exposing your breasts, I really think that you didn't know any better. You were just trying to impress everybody, especially Allie.
I was not.
Sure you were. Mary, you don't have to go through life as a tag-along. Why don't you just try being yourself?
My name is not Mary, it's Mare. I hate that name.
I'm giving you one last chance, Mare. We're sleeping out tomorrow night. I'd love to have you there. Just say you're sorry.
Never. I would rather die first, Angela. What are you looking for? A gun?
No? A drill.
Oh, good times, Matt. being released in 4K by Scream Factory. All right, they had the Blu-ray rights. They lost them at one point. I'm not sure what happened. And then Sandpiper Pictures, I think it is, picked up the Blu-ray rights for Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3. Well, Scream Factory must have had those 4K rights because, baby, here we go. Sleepaway Camp 2 and Happy Campers and Part 3 Teenage Wasteland, both being released in 4K by Scream Factory this upcoming Tuesday. 4K restorations from the original 35 millimeter interpositives for both, and a bunch of special features, some audio commentary, some new interviews, and more. I will be picking these up. I do have a pathetic affection for these films. I have the old school Sleepaway Camp box set that was released on DVD like 20 years ago that had the Red Cross emblem on it. And I think they got a cease and desist because the Red Cross didn't want anything to do with that. And they released they pulled it and released another version. And it has the shot footage for Sleepaway Camp 4 that was never actually finished as part of a special DVD feature on that. So I'll be upgrading those from DVD to 4K. Matt, where are you in the Sleepaway Camp franchise?
I've seen the first one, kind of a campy horror classic, right, of the 80s, but that's the only one I've seen.
Yeah, it's I mean, listen, they're not good. They're not great. But there's a cheesy, kind of wonderful quality to them. And the kind of gore, horror, violent stuff isn't too bad either.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say that was 5.
Number 5?
Moving on to 4.
4.
Criterion is putting out Cairo Station. Kanawi, a newspaper seller, falls for Hunoma, a cold drink vendor Matt who's engaged to Abu Siri, a luggage porter. However, when Kanawi proposes to Hunoma and gets rejected, he decides to kill her. A brand new 4K restoration of that, as well as a 2K restoration of Cairo, is seen by Shion, a short documentary with an introduction by film scholar Joseph Fahim, a new interview with Fahim, a documentary on the director, and more being released there by Criterion.
Get 3 coffins ready.
A lot of people are fans of the Casper movie, Matt, and now's your chance to pick it up in 4K. There's also going to be a steel book as well for that. Includes basically all the archival features, including deleted scenes, commentaries, and more. So there you go.
I have 2 words: perfect love and perfect trust.
We didn't see this for the show. I don't even know if we did the original for the show. I remember watching it. But the sequel that I don't think anybody asked for, The Accountant 2, is being released here in 4K and Blu-ray. When Medina's former boss is killed by unknown assassins, she's forced to contact Christian to solve the matter. With the help of his estranged but highly lethal brother Brax, Chris applies his brilliant mind and less than legal methods to piece together the unsolved puzzle. So John Barenthal joins Ben Affleck in The Accountant 2. This feels like this is one of those things where we pop it on a rainy day and kind of watch it. And Barenthal's always watchable, right? He's always worth a good time. And then I guess this is one. You really are in no order.
There can be only one.
Arrow is releasing Poseidon. Not the Poseidon Adventure. This is just Poseidon, which I think was Wolfgang Petersen's kind of reboot or reimagining of the original film. It's being released, as I said, in 4K from Arrow. A bunch of featurettes on the making of it, new interviews as well. I don't even think I saw this film. So good for me. Also being released, Matt, 40-Year-Old Virgin is in 4K. There's a steel book as well, includes the unrated and theatrical releases, as well as all the archival features and a brand new 20th anniversary discussion with, I believe, the director and some of the cast, including, I believe, Steve Carell is there. And then other 4K releases, World Trade Center, the Nick Cage film, Meet the Parents. And then you get steelbook releases of John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness and Ghosts of Mars. There's a new steelbook of It Follows, as well as High Tension, and then the 2008 version of The Strangers. Your Viper video pick of the week, Matt, I'm going to go with Blood Dolls. Director Charles Band's outrageous 1999 hard rock Devil Doll classic Blood Dolls comes screaming to Blu-ray, now louder and crazier and remastered in glorious HD for the first time ever. Follow the weird adventures of wealthy, warped lunatic Virgil Travis, an eccentric billionaire whose bizarre mask conceals a deadly secret. To satisfy his insatiable kinks, Virgil kidnaps an all-girl rock band and creates a trio of killer dolls, the titular Blood Dolls, to enact violent vengeance on his enemies. As the volume turns up, the bodies pile up, and The girls stripped down. Virgil's dastardly lust. Oh boy, leads to a shocking grand finale, full of strange creatures, hot babes, and killer rock and roll. Blood Dolls is vintage full moon freakery. Oh, there you go, full moon, at its finest, and has never looked or sounded this good. Kind of like Matt's senior prom. Matt, what should we be streaming this week?
Well, if you're gonna watch a spoof, I'm not going to recommend that you watch the Naked Gun series. It is available on Paramount Plus if you're so inclined. The originals with Leslie Nielsen, but I'm going to recommend I think best spoof Leslie Nielsen was in, Airplane, which is also available on Paramount Plus.
Ooh, very good. Why would you? Paramount Plus sucks, man. You got to cancel that stuff. I mean, Star Trek stuff, I guess, right? But
it's where it's at. It's where the Star Trek's at.
Boo.
Hey, man. Gotta feed the beast if you want more Trek, bro.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, are we really choosing one service over another? They're all various levels of terrible.
Well, I'm happy to get HBO Max and Discovery split up again. Boy, that was a brilliant decision there.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? After all that money and all those people fired. Smart move. Way to go. All right, let's close it out, Matt, and let's finish this horror madness bracket. All right. Again, we're not introducing any new films at this point, but we thought we paid homage to one that didn't make the cut, shockingly enough.
There's one other thing I think we should talk about. I don't want to sound melodramatic, but it's something that's been known to give a few people second thoughts about the job. I'm intrigued. I don't suppose they told you anything in Denver about the tragedy we had up here during the winter of 1970? I don't believe they did. Well, my predecessor in this job hired a man named Charles Grady as the winter caretaker. And he came up here with his wife and two little girls, I think about 8 and 10. And he had a good employment record, good references. And from what I've been told, I mean, he seemed like a completely normal individual. But at some point during the winter, he must have suffered some kind of a complete mental breakdown. He ran amok and he killed his family with an axe. Stacked them neatly in one of the rooms of the West Wing, and then he put both barrels of a shotgun in his mouth.
Okay. We are ready to roll here, folks. So where we last left it, right? Do you want to run through the whole thing again?
Sure.
Oops, I forgot these up here too. Look at me go. Oh boy, Chris, dropping the ball like every winner does. I don't know if we need to review these two as well. And this one should be on YouTube, folks. You can follow along. So we started with the 50s. We ended up with Night of the Hunter. The 60s, we closed out then with Psycho. Matt, what happened with the 70s and 80s?
With the 70s and 80s, for the 70s, we picked, controversially, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And for the 80s, if anyone who's ever listened to this show should not have been surprised, we picked John Carpenter's The Thing.
The 90s, we ended up with Audition. And then the aughts was The Descent. And then, Matt, the 2010s and 2020s.
For the 2010s and 2020s, again, if you'd ever listened to the show, 2010s was It Follows. And then, maybe a bit surprisingly, His House was the contender for the 2020s.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. So, but that's where we ended up. So right now, then, we have, the 50s and the 60s. Do you want to do it that way, or do you think we need to rejigger these at all?
No, I think we can do it this way.
Okay.
I don't know if rejiggering it's really going to change anything, do you?
Probably not. So Night of the Hunter or Psycho, where do you land?
Personally, I probably go with Psycho because it's so foundational to the genre of horror and what came after.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I think that's the right decision. Do you want to cross the board then and go to the 90s?
Sure. All right, so then it's going up against Audition or Descent. So what is your selection there, Chris?
I never got around to finishing The Descent. I still have like 20 minutes to go. I've been watching the Yankees get their butts kicked every night for the last 2
Mhm.
weeks. Plus I was in London. Like I say that just I was in London.
Oh, I was in London. Like you
I
couldn't
mean,
have watched your bloody horror movie on a plane full of people.
so audition or descent? I think I got to go audition.
Okay.
What about you?
Personally, I would probably go Descent.
Sell me on
But
that.
sell you on that. I think Descent just gives me such a visceral reaction from the kind of claustrophobia and the confines of the cave system that they're in, the darkness that they're in, the kind of claustrophobic panic that the women kind of give you also is feels very real to me. Audition is the ultimate slow burn, and obviously when it turns on you, it is absolutely disturbing. But I think just for sheer scares and just being able to watch it, I would probably go Descent. But I understand why you would select Audition, and it's probably the right answer if I'm being honest with myself.
Okay. All right. So you're comfortable going with the audition for that?
I am, yeah.
All right. I realized that I messed up my lines here. So
Okay,
we'll figure it out together.
we will.
All right. Then down to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know what? Let's leave that for last. So then It Follows and His House.
I have to go with It Follows. I love It Follows so much. It's so creepy. It's so effective. It's such a simple idea, but executed so cleverly. I love it.
Yeah, agreed. And then finally, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Thing. I was what was I was watching something. What the hell was I watching? I had a horror film on. I can't remember what it was. But I was having this internal dialogue with myself. I was like, the 80s is what I grew up with. And
Mhm.
80s horror is like a comfort blanket for me. It's my whoopee, right? It's my binky.
Sure.
And I love it so. But I think, if I'm being perfectly honest, I think 70s was a better decade for horror.
Mhm.
Right. I mean, I know that 11 Dead is what, 68, so it doesn't quite get in the door, but we still have what, Dawn of the Dead, right?
Yeah.
And then you have The Exorcist. You have we have it right there on the list, right? You
Right.
have Jaws, Alien, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Exorcist, Suspiria, Dawn of the Dead, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. All right, those are the ones that just were in the bracket. There's tons more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think in the end, 70s is probably the best horror decade.
Yeah, I think it's the one that really kind of took it very seriously. And it was really the kind of explosion of the genre in another way, right? It kind of became much more scary and much less kid stuff. I think the 80s has a lot of it is very cheesy, right? There's a lot of output in the 80s, but there's a lot of chaff that you got to kind of sort through. Whereas the 70s, I mean, the hits are really hit hard.
Yeah, and they also too dealing with a lot of stuff, right? You're coming out of the 50s, 60s, the Cold War, the the civil rights movement. Like there's all these different too political and cultural things hitting all at the same time too.
Mhm.
And that's why the 80s was so good too, because of the shift with Reagan and the rejection of all the advancements, that all the cultural advancements that were made through the 60s and 70s. And then anyway, it's regardless. All right, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing. It pains me to say this, but on a straight horror level, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a more visceral, terrifying experience, and I think that's the one I would take.
Yeah, I'm really shocked to hear you say that, but I'm also shocked that I agree with you. I love The Thing, and it's a masterclass of suspense and practical effects, and just what Carpenter is able to do, and that sense of just paranoia. But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is just brutal, and it seems so disturbingly real that it just seems like that has to be the answer.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like, I know this has been said 1,000 times, so please don't give me a hard time, but it feels like you're watching a snuff film. I mean, it's really that visceral and that realistic and that deeply unsettling.
Yeah.
While The Thing is like a murder mystery party in a way, right? And trying to figure out who the bad guy, who the alien is,
Mhm.
and dealing with the whole paranoia part of it. And it's one of my favorite films. I have a poster of it on the wall right now that I may be switching behind me
Okay.
at some point soon too, because I'm moving things around here. But still, I watch The Thing more. I watch The Thing probably 2-3 times a year.
Right.
But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre still freaks me the hell out to this day. When The Thing, I just let it wash over me because of the love I have for it.
Mhm.
So then it's Audition or Psycho.
For my money, I think I still have to go with Hitch and Psycho.
I think I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And then It Follows or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We love It Follows on this show.
Mhm.
It is a beautiful piece of kind of retro 80s, unrelenting kind of horror with a fantastic score and just creepy as hell. But again, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think, is the only choice.
Yeah, I mean, if TCM is gonna, as much as It Follows is beloved, I mean, if it can beat out The Thing, I think there's no way it's gonna not beat out It Follows as well.
So there you go, Psycho and TCM.
Two very different but foundational pieces of horror filmmaking, right? One is very stylized, it's very cerebral, it's gorgeous to look at as is unsettling, whereas TCM is just dirty and it's nasty, but at the same time, it has some incredibly beautiful shots in it as well, despite everything that's going on.
So, in your opinion, what is the best horror film then of the past 70 years?
I think I'm going to say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, personally.
I don't think he can avoid it.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly the answer. I don't think there is an alternative.
Yeah. I'm really shocked the way this ended up and how easy it was for us to get there.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah, I really, when we first started this, I was like, I wonder if Night of the Hunter is going to make the run for me.
Sure.
I really thought it might. Or The Thing, really.
Mhm,
It was going
mhm.
to be like, am I going to struggle with The Thing and It Follows, but nope. There it is,
Yeah.
folks.
But it's all a matter of degrees. And I'd be very curious. I would be very curious. Not that I suggest like putting this out on Reddit or anything like that, but I'd be curious to see how the average horror fan reacts to that. I'll have to see if we get any feedback on this one.
Yeah, I have some people that I interact with on Reddit. I might be worth a shot. I'll clean up this bracket because obviously, remember, I did my columns. I screwed up my columns there at the end. I'm not it's not, my brain doesn't work this way when it comes to Excel, columns, math. It's just not my forte.
Mm-hmm.
So there you
have
go.
to get online and find a blank bracket that you can just fill in the blanks.
That's what I should have done instead of trying to make this thing from scratch. If I was smart, that's what I would have done. There you go, though. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for the first run, the scariest film of the past 70 years. Or the best horror film. However you want to word it. So
makes me want to go out and watch it.
I know, right? I have that 4K that
Me too.
sitting on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that will do. Well, let's hold on about that. There is something we need to talk about.
Okay.
And again, where do you end up with the bracket? The bracket should be linked in the show notes. So go ahead and click on it. Take a look. Shoot us an email, feedback@thefirstrun.com. Okay. Next week, we're doing weapons.
Right.
Krieger's latest film, the guy who did Barbarian.
Yep.
We're going to do weapons. I'm very excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
Conceptually, I love the idea, and I still don't quite understand what even is going on in this film.
Which is perfect.
Really good. Yeah. There's something else I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
Going around online, I don't know if you've heard about this. There is a new version of War of the Worlds streaming on Prime, starring Ice Cube.
Okay.
That has a robust 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Amazing.
And there is a scene I was like, I just want to ignore it. But there is a scene I saw online today where Ice Cube supposedly is in this top secret government facility. And they need to get some tech to him somehow. and it's they have to get him a USB drive, the thumb drive. And he says, "Well, there's no USB drives allowed in this facility. That's how top secret it is." So these people he's talking to over like Zoom or something go. And remember, this is a Prime exclusive. It's a Prime created film. He says, "Well, we know what we could do. Buy us a thumb drive off of Amazon. We'll airdrop it to you using Air Amazon." And it goes through, and they show him going to Amazon, selecting the thumb drive, selecting the service. It looks brilliant. And I'm wondering if we should do it as a second film for next week. I know there's so many things we got to catch up with yet, but I don't know. You know what? Let me try and watch it over the next couple days.
Let's make sure it's so bad it's good versus so bad it just makes us want to shoot ourselves.
Well, I'm hearing that's what it is. So maybe we can pocket it and do like a Mystery Science Theater commentary for it someday instead.
Fair
I
enough.
don't know.
Yeah.
But there's something, I don't know. See if you can find that scene online. I'll maybe try watching it. I'll report back to you. In the meantime, so that's it. Weapons, right? Weapons for sure. Weapons for sure. Next week on the big show, we said that. All right. How do you find us? Let's do that. Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky, YouTube. Do a search for The First Run. Scroll. You will find us. Head over to Apple Podcasts. Give us a review. It'll help other people find the show. And that's it. Now, you may be wondering, Chris, Hulk Hogan died. He didn't make the obit. He didn't make the intro. Well, I have a very special long stinger for you that explains all of that. Though it doesn't dive into the racist stuff. I'm going to let that go with Hulk. Let him rest in peace for the racism stuff. There's another part that makes him a terrible person. And you're going to hear that as a stinger this week. It's a little long. Bear with it. But that's that. So we're going to go ahead, take an extended break. We love you all very much. And we'll see you soon.
You and Hulk were once good friends.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood of that ever being repaired?
Never.
What?
Can't trust him. I'm not friends with anyone I don't trust. I have to have a trust with someone to be their friend. And he's the one that ratted me to Vince when I tried to unionize. I found that out under federal deposition when Vince was put under sworn, and he didn't hesitate at all. I told my lawyer the story, and in deposition, you could ask about anything. And so I wanted to know who ratted me in the locker room, because there were no agents, no one from the office was in there when I did it. So it had to be one of the boys. And when my attorney said, Mr. McMahon, has there ever been a union in wrestling? And Vince said, no. He said, has anyone ever tried to? And Vince said, well, I think Jesse Ventura spouted his mouth off about it once before. And my attorney said, did you hear Mr. Ventura? No. Well, then how do you know he did? With no hesitation, Vince went, Hulk Hogan told me. And I didn't show any emotion, but I almost tipped over in the chair because he was my friend.
You dirty motherfucker.